I was in a marketing meeting last week and the mood was good. Our content lead, let's call her Sarah, was proudly walking us through her team's latest masterpiece. It was a perfectly crafted, deeply researched article on a complex topic. The kind of piece that took 2 solid weeks of human effort, debate, and gallons of coffee to get just right. She was beaming. Then Mark, one of the junior guys, the kind who speaks fluent, data-driven, and seems surgically attached to his laptop, chimed in. He didn't even look up. "Did we check the AI score on the top-ranking competitors article?" he asked. Sarah looked confused. Mark just turned his screen around. He'd run their main competitor's blog through a new detection tool. The result? The article that was crushing hours in search rankings was, according to the software, over 80% written by a machine. The room went quiet. You could feel the strange tension settle in, the unspoken question hanging in the air. That 2 weeks of human craft, meticulous writing and editing, was being outmaneuvered by a robot that probably cranked its version out in 5 minutes. It makes you wonder, what exactly are we reading online anymore?
And if the machines are already winning, what does that mean for the rest of us? That story really stuck with me because it highlights such a profound shift, doesn't it? It's not just about blog posts anymore, or, marketing copy. AI-generated content is fundamentally changing the entire digital ecosystem. It's altering what we see, what we trust, and frankly, even how we work day to day. So this deep dive is all about pulling back the curtain on this new, rapidly unfolding reality. We're exploring how AI is reshaping the very fabric of our online information and what that means for you, the individual navigating this wild, wild web.
It's a truly monumental shift. Yeah, the core challenge we're facing, I think, is the almost unbelievable speed and the widespread proliferation of AI content. It's not just an incremental change, not at all. It's a complete game changer for how we access information, how we consume it, and how we interact with, virtually everything online. The sheer volume and the velocity of this content creation are staggering. And it raises some absolutely fundamental questions for our digital lives. It pushes us to reconsider our relationship with information itself. We're really moving into uncharted waters here where the lines between human and machine authorship are just blurring by the day.
Right. It feels like the ground is constantly shifting beneath our feet. So let's circle back to that AI score anecdote from the marketing meeting. It really zeroes in on the central question. How exactly did we get here? How do we get to this point where machines aren't just creating content, but are actually outperforming human effort in this relentless race for search rankings? The digital marketing world, they've always been kind of the sharp end of this spear, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Content creation there has always been intrinsically linked to visibility. Getting eyeballs on your product or message. Historically, it was about finding the right keywords, building links, crafting engaging narratives, all very human-centric in a way. But now it seems like these AI tools have become incredibly efficient, just drafting huge ranges of marketing copy, editing with crazy precision, tweaking tone perfectly.
Yeah, and even rigorously enforcing specific brand guidelines across countless pieces of content. It's automation on a scale we haven't really seen before in this domain.
Exactly. And we're hearing whispers, that within maybe the next 5 years, most large enterprises won't just use AI for marketing. They'll have these really sophisticated large language models, LLMs, specifically trained on their own proprietary brand guidelines.
Right, trained on their voice, their rules.
Yeah, and these LLMs will be reviewing all marketing and advertising copy, checking for compliance, consistency, everything before it ever sees the light of day. It's a level of automated scrutiny and efficiency that's just, it's new.
And what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how the very nature of search itself is evolving in response to all this. For years, we've talked about search engine optimization, SEO.
Right.
That was primarily about making your content visible to human eyes through the lens of search engine algorithms.
Keywords, links, site structure.
Exactly. You'd optimize for keywords, build quality backlinks, structure your site for crawling, all designed to rank higher when a human typed in a query. But now there's this whole new technical discipline rapidly emerging. People are calling it AI optimization or AIO, sometimes even answer engine optimization, AEO.
AEO. Okay.
And this isn't just like a slight tweak to traditional SEO. It's a complete paradigm shift. AIO is specifically about improving the structure, the clarity, and the retrievability of digital content, not just for human readers anymore, but directly for large language models and other AI systems.
Okay, so not just for people searching, but for the AI itself.
Precisely. The goal isn't just about your content getting found by a person. It's about how the AI interprets it, how it understands its nuances, and then how it generates responses based on it. It's like you're trying to teach your content to speak fluent AIs.
Huh. So it's less about a human finding my blog post by typing in a search query, and more about an AI system basically reading my content, digesting it, and then spitting out an answer based on what it learned from me. That feels like a very different ballgame.
It absolutely is. Think of it this way. You're optimizing your content so it can be easily digestible and accurately cited by AI systems. We're talking about tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity AI, or even Google's new AI overviews, which are increasingly providing direct, synthesized answers to user queries.
Right, instead of just a list of blue links.
Exactly. They give you the answer directly. So this means focusing on factors that these LLMs specifically prioritize for efficient processing. For instance, there's this concept of token efficiency.
Token efficiency.
Yeah. In the world of AI, language gets broken down into these small units called tokens. Words, parts of words, punctuation. The more concisely and clearly you present information, the fewer tokens the AI needs to process. This makes it faster and cheaper for the AI to understand your content. It's almost like the AI has to pay for every word it reads, so you want to be as direct and meaningful as possible. Get straight to the point.
So almost like writing in bullet points, but, for a machine, that's simplifying it, I guess.
In a way, yes, but with a deep semantic understanding behind it. It's not just brevity, it's clarity and structure. Then there's something called embedding relevance. This is about ensuring your content aligns perfectly with the core semantic concepts and relationships that the AI models have built in their vast internal knowledge graphs.
Okay, so matching how the AI thinks about a topic.
Pretty much. Using language and structuring information in a way that makes it easy for the AI to connect your information to its existing understanding, making those connections seamless. And finally, there's contextual authority. This means structuring your content so it clearly demonstrates deep topical focus, internal consistency, and reliable sourcing, all within the vast networks of knowledge that these AI systems map out.
So it's not just about being visible, but being verifiably knowledgeable to the AI.
Exactly. You need to prove your expertise to the machine.
Wow. So no longer just optimizing for humans, but optimizing for the machines that interpret for humans. That's a huge shift from just, stuffing keywords into an article like back in the day.
A massive shift.
But okay, if machines are writing so much content and everyone's prioritizing this AIO approach, what does that mean for the overall quality and, I guess, the diversity of what we actually read online? We've heard AI content can be incredibly fast, consistent, maybe remarkably error-free sometimes, which sounds like a dream for any content creator, right?
On the surface, yes.
But I can't help but wonder, does it also lead to a more, homogenous online experience, where similar content gets generated over and over, all optimized for the same algorithms, creating this vast sea of sameness?
That's a very perceptive concern, and it's something a lot of people are grappling with right now.
Absolutely. If content becomes too narrowly optimized solely for AI interpretation, we could indeed see a flattening of diversity, a decline in unique voices, a rise in predictable, maybe even formulaic content.
Like an internet echo chamber, but generated by algorithms.
Exactly. Imagine an internet where every article on a given topic sounds eerily similar, devoid of those unexpected insights or, the quirky perspectives that human writers often bring. This could inadvertently stifle novelty and genuine creativity, making it harder for truly original thought to break through the noise.
Yeah, that's a bit worrying. However, it's important to connect this to the broader picture, too. AI optimization isn't just happening in digital marketing. It's being used across various sectors. For example, think about large enterprise knowledge systems. AIO is becoming absolutely crucial there.
So not for selling stuff, but for internal information.
Right. This isn't about marketing. It's about structuring internal documentation, vast company knowledge bases, complex standard operating procedures. By optimizing these for AI, companies make it exponentially easier for their internal AI systems, think intelligent chatbots for employees, or automated compliance checks to interpret and retrieve information quickly and accurately.
Okay, so better internal search, faster onboarding. That makes sense.
Yeah, and it enhances automation for things like compliance reporting, which can be very tedious. It's also becoming foundational in highly regulated fields where accuracy isn't just nice to have, it's critical, like healthcare and legal professions.
Right, the stakes are much higher there.
Absolutely. In healthcare, for instance, AIO helps ensure that AI systems accurately represent professional qualifications, specific licensing statuses, clear service boundaries. This is vital for preventing misattribution or oversimplification of medical advice. An AI giving bad medical advice that could have genuinely serious, even life-threatening consequences.
Definitely.
Similarly, for legal and compliance content, AIO is used to format incredibly dense domain-specific language in a way that reduces ambiguity and drastically increases contextual authority within the AI model outputs. Think about it. A hallucination, a fabricated fact in a legal brief could have enormous legal repercussions, huge risks.
Yeah, you can't afford errors there.
So AIO isn't just about SEO rankings in these contexts. It's really a foundational element for what's increasingly being called AI safety. Structured content helps minimize those hallucination risks in high-stakes fields where factual accuracy is absolutely paramount. It's a very serious application of this technology.
Okay, so in those critical fields, AIO is less about gaining a competitive edge and more about preventing catastrophic errors. That makes a lot of sense. But still, that playful thought kind of lingers. Is the internet just going to become one giant, perfectly optimized, albeit maybe potentially monotonous, AI-generated encyclopedia? Like one single, perfectly polished, token-efficient answer to every question. It's a humorous thought, but also, a little bit unsettling.
It is a bit unsettling. The potential for homogenization is real.
Speaking of unsettling, let's shift gears a bit to the issue of trust. That initial story about Sarah and Mark and the AI score in that competitor's article, it really hinted at this unspoken question. What exactly are we reading online anymore? It feels like we're living in, I don't know, a boom time for viral deepfakes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Manipulated images, videos. They're becoming so commonplace, they're almost unremarkable now.
They're everywhere.
You see them popping up all over, from political campaigns to celebrity gossip. It's not just some abstract concern anymore. It's directly impacting our ability to tell truth from fiction. It really blurs the lines of reality.
Totally.
And there's this growing kind of gnawing concern that this widespread manipulation is eroding trust in all digital content, even stuff that comes from reputable news sites or established institutions.
That's the real danger, the collateral damage to trusted sources.
Yeah, we've heard some truly striking statistics on this, like a staggering 74% of consumers have openly admitted they doubted the authenticity of photos or videos, even when those visuals came from sources they would typically trust.
Wow, 3/4 of people, that's significant.
It is, and this becomes a huge pressing issue, particularly around major public events like elections. Misinformation can spread like wildfire and potentially sway public opinion. In fact, a whopping 94% of consumers have expressed deep concern that the pervasive spread of misinformation will significantly impact upcoming elections. That's almost everyone.
The stakes are incredibly high. It's a genuine crisis of confidence in our digital information ecosystem. And this crisis of trust is precisely where something called content credentials emerges as a really promising potential solution.
Content credentials.
Yeah, this is an open standard, meaning anyone can use it, developed by this powerful collaboration known as the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, or C2PA. The easiest way to kind of get your head around it is to think of it like a nutrition label for digital content.
Okay, like on food packaging.
Exactly. Just like a food label tells you about ingredients, allergens, where it was made. Content credentials carry verifiable metadata, information like when and how the content was originally created, what edits were made to it along its journey, and crucially, whether and how AI was used in its creation or modification.
So it discloses the AI involvement.
Yes. And the elegance of this system is really in its design philosophy. It's built to provide profound transparency, but without imposing burdensome extra steps or, a steep learning curve for the average consumer. You shouldn't need a PhD to understand it. The ultimate goal is to establish this continuous, unbroken chain of trust that extends from the very moment the content is captured or created, all the way to when you, the viewer or reader, see it online.
A chain of trust.
Yeah. It's not about telling you what to believe. It's about giving you the precise tools and verifiable facts to decide for yourself what to trust. It's about provenance, like a digital fingerprint for every piece of media.
A digital nutrition label. I like that analogy. It sounds incredibly important for the health of our information ecosystem. And what's truly surprising, or maybe encouraging, is who's already embracing this technology. It's not just tech companies tinkering in a lab somewhere.
Right, it's moving into the real world.
For example, the Department of Defense is actively using content credentials on images they share through DVIs. That's their online resource for distributing military visuals.
That makes sense. Authenticity is paramount for them.
Absolutely. It helps them verify the authenticity of their own images, which is vital for building public trust in the information they release. But it gets even more interesting. It's moving right into the hardware itself. Major camera manufacturers, we're talking Fujifilm, Sony, Canon, Nikon, and Leica have made concrete commitments to integrate this technology directly into their cameras.
That's huge. So baked in from the start.
Exactly. That covers something like over 90% of the digital camera market. Imagine attribution details and a verifiable history being attached right at the point of capture before any editing or potential manipulation even begins.
That's a game changer for provenance.
Yeah, Leica, for instance, they led the charge last year. They released the M11P, which was the world's first camera with content credentials built right in. And they've already followed up with a second model. This isn't theoretical anymore. It's being built into the tools we use every single day.
You're absolutely right. The adoption is really gaining significant momentum across the entire content lifecycle. It's not just the camera makers ensuring provenance at the source. Major platforms are stepping up too. Google, a titan of information, they've joined the C2PA steering committee, signaling their deep commitment.
Okay, Google's involved. That's big.
Huge. They're integrating content credentials into their search results, their ad systems, and they're actively exploring how to relay this verifiable information directly to viewers on YouTube. Amazon is also on board. They're automatically attaching content credentials to all images generated using their Titan image generator, which a lot of enterprises use. And perhaps most critically, the social media giants, who are often at the epicenter of these misinformation storms, they're recognizing the absolute necessity of this. Meta, Facebook and Instagram and OpenAI, one of the leading AI research labs, have both joined the C2PA steering committee.
Wow, Meta and OpenAI too.
Yeah.
Okay, that signals a real unified effort.
It really does. A cross-industry effort toward transparency in digital media. Interestingly, TikTok was reportedly the very first social media platform to support content credentials, actively labeling AI-generated content uploaded by its users.
TikTok was first. Interesting.
Yeah. And LinkedIn is also now prominently displaying these credentials. So the technology is undeniably ready, it's robust, and it's being adopted by key players. The biggest challenge now, as you rightly point out, is achieving truly widespread adoption across every platform, every type of content imaginable, making it the default expectation, rather than just an exception.
It feels a bit like the Wild West of online content, doesn't it? And now we're trying to build this digital hall of records, which is both incredibly ambitious and absolutely essential if we want to retain any sense of shared reality.
Digital Hall of Records, I like that. It fits.
But it brings up another fascinating point. If it's so hard for us humans to tell what's real and what's not, how does AI-generated misinformation actually behave compared to traditional human-generated misinformation? Are they the same beast, or does the AI twist give it unique characteristics?
That's a really insightful question, and research has started to offer some really unique and sometimes counterintuitive insights into this. Studies indicate that AI-generated misinformation on social media platforms, particularly on places like X, tends to have some distinct characteristics.
Okay, like what?
For one, it often focuses on more, let's say, entertaining content. Less overtly political or divisive, perhaps, and it tends to carry a more positive or at least neutral sentiment compared to traditional misinformation.
So less outrage-focused.
Potentially, yeah. It's a subtle but maybe important distinction. It might be less about stoking anger and more about just capturing attention through novelty. Another intriguing paradox is that despite frequently originating from smaller, less established user accounts, AI-generated content seems to be significantly more likely to go viral.
More likely to go viral even from small accounts. How does that work?
Well, the statistical differences in some studies might appear small, but the consistent data suggests this higher virality is a real phenomenon. Perhaps it's because the content is less jarring or controversial. Maybe that makes it easier for people to share without triggering their internal alarm bells,
That's possible. It slips under the radar easier.
Could be. Interestingly, some analyses have also found that AI-generated misinformation is maybe slightly less believable and, in certain contexts, potentially less harmful than conventional misinformation.
Less believable and less harmful. That seems counterintuitive, too.
It does, but this finding should definitely be approached with caution. It certainly doesn't diminish the overall challenge it poses. Why? Because humans often struggle significantly to detect AI-generated content accurately, it's genuinely getting harder and harder for us to tell the difference between what's real and what's fabricated by a machine. Our own eyes and ears aren't reliable enough anymore.
We're just not good at spotting the fakes.
Not consistently, no. We're told that even the best cutting-edge software for detecting fake images still fails about 13% of the time, meaning it incorrectly flags a real image as fake, or it misses a fake image.
Okay, 13% failure for the best software.
But here's the kicker. Humans do significantly worse. We fail around 39% of the time, according to some studies.
Wow, 39%. We're really outmatched.
Pretty much. We are essentially outmatched by the machines we're trying to detect. This really underscores the urgent need for enhanced media literacy training. Not just for the public, but for everyone. We need to help people learn how to critically assess this kind of content, encourage a healthy skepticism, and really focus on things like checking for those content credentials we talked about.
Yeah, skepticism and verification seem key. Okay, let's shift again. The impact on jobs is perhaps the most, visceral, immediate concern for many people when they think about AI. That initial marketing meeting story where Sarah's team felt kind of outmaneuvered by a robot, that really brings this home. It hits close to home for knowledge workers.
It absolutely does. It's the will a robot take my job question.
Exactly. And there's a lot of talk about mass job displacement. You see these big economic reports.
Yeah.
Some economists, like those at Goldman Sachs, predicting that roughly 2/3 of current jobs are exposed to some degree of AI automation.
2/3 exposed? That's a huge number.
It is. And that generative AI could substitute up to 1/4 of current work.
That sounds pretty alarming, right? Like a massive wave of unemployment is just around the corner.
It definitely fuels anxiety.
But then you hear other analyses, like from the World Economic Forum. They predict a net increase in jobs. They suggest that while maybe 92 million jobs will be lost globally over the next 5 years,
A whopping 170 million new jobs will be created, leading to a net gain of 78 million jobs.
a net gain. That sounds more positive.
It sounds great on paper, but it completely glosses over the incredible human difficulty and societal challenge involved in that transition, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The friction is immense.
Retraining, say, a displaced clerical worker to suddenly be a software developer or a factory worker to be an AI prompt engineer, that's not easy. It's not automatic.
Not at all.
It really highlights how this isn't just a simple replacement. It's a constant, profound reshaping of the entire global workforce. People's lives get disrupted in the process.
You've hit on a truly critical distinction there, one that often gets lost in the headlines. It's not just about AI taking over jobs entirely. It's also, and perhaps more significantly, about AI augmenting human capabilities.
Augmentation versus automation.
Exactly. This concept of augmentation potential is actually far, far larger than the automation potential. Research from organizations like the ILO, for instance, estimates that while a substantial 13% of jobs globally could see significant boosts through AI augmentation,
Okay, 13% boosted.
only about 2.3% of jobs could be fully automated with current technology.
Only 2.3% fully automated. That's a much smaller number.
Much smaller. So this means AI is far more likely to assist, enhance, and streamline human work rather than completely replace it across the board, at least for now. For example, AI can dramatically help copywriters. It can generate initial drafts, rephrase sentences, check grammar, even suggest different tones of voice, freeing them up for more creative strategic work, the higher level thinking.
Right, handling the grunt work.
Exactly. Graphic designers can use AI tools to speed up tedious tasks like background removal, image upscaling, generating variations of a design element, allowing them to focus on the overall artistic vision, the concept. And coders, they can leverage large language models as highly effective coding assistants, generating boilerplate code, debugging, even explaining complex functions, saving significant development time.
So it makes everyone more efficient.
These tools offer genuinely massive time savings. They shift the focus from manual labor to higher-level thinking, strategy, creativity. In fact, we're seeing data that underscores this. A high percentage of marketers, a striking 78%, believe AI will intelligently automate more than a quarter of their daily marketing tasks within just the next 3 years.
Wow, 78% think over a quarter of their tasks will be automated soon. That's a significant chunk of the work week suddenly becoming more efficient.
It really is.
So, given this augmentation focus, who's feeling that AI squeeze first? It sounds like maybe the more junior roles. Entry-level copywriters, graphic designers, coders. Are they among the first to feel the impact, with some of their more routine, repetitive tasks being absorbed by AI?
That seems to be the trend, yes. Those roles often involve tasks that are more easily defined and therefore more easily automated or augmented by current AI capabilities.
And this raises a real, maybe longer-term concern. If these junior roles, which historically served as crucial training grounds and stepping stones, if they begin to disappear or diminish significantly, could that lead to what some people are calling weaker talent pipelines?
That's a very real and pressing challenge that organizations are actively grappling with right now. Yes.
It just makes it harder for organizations to develop future leaders if those bottom rungs of the traditional corporate ladder are gone, right? It cuts off the natural progression for aspiring professionals.
It absolutely could disrupt traditional career paths. So instead of simply translating those AI-driven time savings directly into staff reductions, many forward-thinking companies are being encouraged to strategically reinvest those efficiencies into higher value work.
Reinvest the save time, not just cut costs.
Exactly. Shifting focus from merely must-get-done tasks to the should-be-done work that offers a higher return on investment and actually drives innovation. This includes things like optimizing automated campaigns with much greater precision, accelerating audience growth using deeper insights gleaned from AI analysis, vastly improving personalization for customers.
Okay, more strategic stuff.
Yeah, creating more inclusive and accessible experiences, enhancing performance visibility through richer, more dynamic metrics, and conducting more sophisticated A/B testing across campaigns to constantly refine strategies. It's about taking the efficiency gains and channeling them into growth and strategic advantage, not just downsizing.
That makes sense. Using the freed up human capacity for smarter work.
And what we're increasingly seeing, somewhat paradoxically, is this idea that the future of work will actually be more human than work has ever been.
More human? How so?
Because as AI takes on the repeatable, the formulaic, the predictable tasks, the uniquely human skills become paramount. They become the real differentiators. Things like creativity, critical thinking, complex problem solving, emotional intelligence, interpersonal communication. These are the skills that AI currently cannot replicate effectively.
And soft skills become hard currency.
Precisely. This also means the traditional career ladder is rapidly disappearing. It's transforming into something far more dynamic, less linear, more like a climbing wall.
The climbing wall, okay.
Yeah, where individuals forge unique, personalized paths by acquiring new skills and adapting to emerging needs. It's not one size fits all anymore. And new, exciting roles are rapidly emerging in areas like AI oversight, refinement, strategic content direction.
What kind of roles?
Think about the need for data scientists who manage the massive data sets AI models are trained on. AI software developers who build and integrate these complex systems. User experience or UX designers who ensure AI tools are intuitive and genuinely helpful for human users. It's a potential shift from being just content creators to becoming content curators, strategists, and auditors of AI systems, managing the machines.
So it's not just about learning how to use AI, but learning how to manage AI effectively and strategically. That makes complete sense, especially given how much human judgment and strategic insight are still needed. You see this play out clearly in fields like paid media, for instance. Professionals there have actually been using machine learning for years, right? With automated bidding on platforms like Google Ads or Meta Ads.
Exactly. They're already accustomed to working alongside algorithms.
So AI is just the next, maybe more sophisticated evolution of that trend. The human touch remains absolutely irreplaceable for things like cultivating deep client relationships, making those nuanced, context-specific decisions that machines just can't grasp.
Right, the strategic layer.
Yeah, and providing crucial strategic oversight. Because automation, paradoxically, can even create this false sense of optimization.
How do you mean?
Well, a machine might optimize a campaign perfectly for, say, clicks, because that's the metric it was given, but a human needs to step back and question, are those clicks actually leading to sales? Are they valuable clicks?
Aligning the AI's optimization with the actual business goals.
Exactly. Making human questioning, auditing, and goal alignment even more critical to ensure AI outputs truly align with broader business objectives, not just the simple platform metrics.
And what about journalism? They're right at the nexus of content creation and truth-telling. How is AI reshaping that venerable profession?
Journalism is indeed a fascinating case study in AI's impact, yeah? AI is being integrated in various ways already. For rapid data analysis of large data sets, helping with investigative reporting. For the automated writing of simple news reports like sports scores or financial summaries, the routine stuff.
Right, freeing up reporters for deeper work. Exactly. For content personalization, tailoring news feeds to individual readers, and even for supporting fact-checking initiatives by quickly cross-referencing information across vast archives. However, the concerns about job losses in certain junior or repetitive roles are very real within newsrooms. That can't be ignored.
Understandably.
But it's also strongly suggested and often demonstrated in practice that new roles will be created. This shift allows journalists to focus on more complex, investigative, interpretive, and high-value tasks that uniquely require human judgment, empathy, and those crucial ethical considerations.
So more analysis, more context, more storytelling.
Precisely. This means that for journalists today, understanding how AI tools work, how to craft effective prompts, and crucially, how to recognize potential biases and hallucinations from these systems, it's no longer optional, it's core competency.
They have to be savvy AI users.
They need to treat AI outputs just like any other source. Verify, verify, verify. They become not just writers, but expert users and critical auditors of AI-generated information. And this profound reshaping of the workforce across all these fields brings us back to the absolute necessity of adaptation and lifelong learning.
It always comes back to learning, doesn't it?
It really does. This isn't just a buzzword anymore. It's a fundamental requirement for navigating this new landscape successfully. A significant percentage of CEOs, around 69%, according to some surveys, recognize this. They acknowledge the urgent need for their workforce to develop entirely new skills to leverage generative AI effectively.
So leadership sees the need for upskilling.
They do. The concept of learnability, just the inherent capacity to learn quickly and adapt to new information and technologies, is becoming more crucial than ever before. It's about meta-learning, really. Learning how to learn so you can constantly adapt to new tools, new workflows, new challenges as they emerge, because things are changing so fast.
Right. Being adaptable is the key skill.
And AI, in this context, really acts as a powerful co-pilot. It assists humans. It doesn't just replace them. It can dramatically improve productivity, especially for maybe lower skilled or newer workers, by handling the repetitive, mundane tasks and allowing humans to focus their precious time and cognitive energy on the more complex, creative, and genuinely value-added work. It's about elevating human potential, ultimately.
Elevating human potential. That's a hopeful way to frame it. But all this incredible innovation, transformation, efficiency, it inevitably leads us directly to the really profound ethical considerations, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The ones that arise with AI's widespread use. It's not just about what AI can do technologically, but what it should do and how we ensure it's used responsibly, fairly, and, for the benefit of humanity.
Absolutely. The ethical dimension is paramount.
Yeah. We've certainly touched on ethical dilemmas concerning the unchecked spread of misinformation, the potential erosion of authentic human expression. And then there are those complex questions around intellectual property rights, especially when AI models are trained on vast amounts of existing human-created content, often without explicit permission or compensation. There's a really complex ethical maze to navigate.
These are indeed paramount concerns, and they sit right at the heart of responsible AI development and deployment. Let's maybe break down some of the key ethical challenges and risks we face.
Okay.
First, there's algorithmic bias. This is a big one. AI systems, no matter how sophisticated they seem, they learn from the data they're fed. And if that data, collected from our often biased real world, contains historical biases, whether societal, racial, gender-based, or otherwise, the AI will inevitably inherit, internalize, and potentially amplify those biases.
So garbage in, garbage out, but potentially worse because it's scaled up.
Exactly. It can lead to deeply unfair or discriminatory outcomes in critical areas, affecting people's lives in very real ways. Think about hiring processes where AI might unfairly screen out certain demographics, or performance management systems that perpetuate existing inequities, or even the kind of news recommendations you receive that just reinforce your existing prejudices.
It can create or worsen societal divides.
It absolutely can. It means we need to proactively identify, rigorously test for, and actively mitigate these biases, not just in the training data, but in the algorithms themselves and how they're deployed. It's a continuous, vigilant process, not a one-time fix.
Constant vigilance. Okay, what else?
Second, data privacy. This is a massive consideration. Think about the vast amounts of personal or proprietary information we feed into AI tools through prompts, queries, uploaded documents, data sets.
Yeah, we give them a lot of data.
We do. So how are these AI models using that data? Is it being stored indefinitely? Is it being used to retrain the models without our knowledge? Is it adequately secured against breaches? Companies need to be utterly transparent about their models, their data management practices, their privacy policies. And individuals, in turn, need to be acutely aware of what sensitive information they are sharing with these tools.
So understanding the terms of service matters more than ever.
Definitely. The risk of data breaches or misuse is amplified exponentially with the vast interconnected data sets AI relies on. It's a constant balancing act between utility and security. Third, and this is perhaps one of the most widely discussed issues, is AI hallucinations.
Ah, yes, the AI making things up.
Exactly. This is when an AI generates information that is completely incorrect or misleading, yet it presents it with this incredibly confident, plausible, almost authoritative tone. It sounds absolutely factual, but it's entirely fabricated. A digital fantasy.
And they can be dangerous.
It can have profoundly serious consequences, particularly in highly sensitive areas. Like medical advice, where a hallucinated diagnosis or treatment suggestion could be incredibly dangerous. Or legal insights, where citing an incorrect precedent could derail an entire case.
So human oversight is critical here.
Absolutely critical. Human oversight, meticulous fact-checking, cross-referencing AI outputs against reliable sources. These aren't just recommended, they are absolutely paramount to catch and correct these errors before they cause real-world harm. We simply cannot delegate critical thinking to a machine that can confidently indent facts.
Never trust, always verify.
Pretty much. Finally, maybe we face the risk of technology dependence. As we delegate more and more tasks to increasingly capable AI systems, there's a genuine concern that humans could develop a limited skill set over time, or even a diminished capacity for critical thinking in certain areas if we just blindly accept what the AI tells us.
We could get mentally lazy.
Potentially, yeah. Or it could inadvertently create a sort of echo chamber effect. If everyone relies on the same few AI tools for information or problem solving, it might narrow perspectives, reduce the diversity of ideas, or simply reinforce existing biases by consistently presenting similar information or solutions.
So we need to keep thinking for ourselves.
It's crucial to maintain and cultivate human critical thinking, creativity, and judgment alongside AI assistance, ensuring that AI enhances us rather than diminishes our core human capabilities.
These were really significant challenges. It sounds like the industry, and maybe governments too, are starting to take them very seriously. So how are industries and governments responding to these ethical concerns and risks? It sounds like there's a growing push for transparency and explainability, right?
Yes, definitely.
We're seeing widespread calls for developers and deployers of AI to provide context-appropriate, meaningful information about how their AI systems operate, and crucially, why they make certain decisions or produce specific outputs, making the black box less black.
That's the goal. But there's a delicate balance here, as you hinted. Sometimes the more complex and accurate an AI algorithm becomes, especially in high-stakes fields like healthcare, where AI might enable breakthroughs or health benefits not achievable otherwise.
The harder it is to explain.
Exactly. The harder it can be to fully explain its intricate workings or the exact reasoning behind its conclusions in simple terms. In such cases, there might be a difficult trade-off. The accuracy and beneficial impact might sometimes need to take precedence over complete, simple explainability, and organizations need to transparently document these trade-offs and the human safeguards they have in place.
So transparency about the limits of explainability too.
Yeah. Yes. We're also seeing major news organizations, for example, developing their own internal guidelines for AI use, emphasizing clear labeling of AI-generated content, precisely specifying AI's role in the creation process, and always maintaining robust human oversight at every single step. That's precisely right. And the response isn't just an internal corporate matter. Governments and international bodies are actively stepping into this space. They're working hard to create comprehensive frameworks and principles for AI regulation. They often focus on what's called a risk-based approach.
Risk-based means
Meaning they assess the potential impacts and ethical risks of AI for specific uses, rather than applying a blanket ban or a uniform classification to all AI. They understand, quite rightly, that the risks associated with an AI recommending a song are vastly different from an AI making critical medical diagnoses or assisting in legal judgments. This allows for much more nuanced and effective regulation.
tailoring the rules to the risk level. Makes sense.
And to help with this, regulatory sandboxes are increasingly being explored. These are essentially controlled testbeds, safe environments where new AI products and services can be introduced under specific, carefully defined legal frameworks.
Testing grounds, basically.
Exactly. This allows regulators to observe their real-world impact, identify unforeseen risks, and learn how to effectively apply existing laws or design new ones before these powerful technologies are deployed widely. Learning by doing in a controlled way. Companies, in turn, are strongly encouraged and sometimes required to develop their own robust internal AI strategies, invest heavily in continuous skills development for their workforce to leverage AI effectively and ethically, and conduct thorough ethical risk assessments for every AI tool they use or develop. It's becoming part of due diligence.
So it's a multi-pronged approach: government, industry, individuals.
Yes. The core principle here is fostering a culture of innovation while simultaneously ensuring responsible human-centric use. It's fundamentally about collaboration for companies and governments to work together closely to shape a future where AI is not only powerful and transformative, but also inherently trustworthy, accountable, and designed by people, for people, with human values and robust human oversight at its absolute core. That has to be the foundation.
It truly seems that no matter how smart the machines get, how efficient they become, or how deeply they permeate our lives, that human capacity for critical thinking, for questioning assumptions, for empathy, and for ethical judgment, that remains the ultimate differentiator.
It really does.
It's truly our superpower, maybe, in this rapidly evolving digital landscape.
Wow. This deep dive has really unpacked the incredible, sweeping changes AI is bringing to our world, hasn't it?
It certainly has. It's a lot to take in. We've explored how it's fundamentally altering what we read online, how search engines operate, how we even try to discern truth from fiction now, and how it's profoundly reshaping our jobs, pushing us all to rethink our roles and responsibilities in this new digital era. From the very fabric of content creation to the critical issues of trust and professional adaptation, AI isn't just automating tasks. It feels like a foundational shift in how information flows and how work actually gets done.
Indeed. This deep dive into AI-generated content reveals a really complex, sometimes exhilarating, and perpetually evolving world. There are no easy answers. It absolutely underscores that human adaptability, strategic thinking, and just the relentless pursuit of understanding are not just valuable anymore, they're more critical than ever before. Navigating this dynamic era successfully is going to require continuous learning, critical discernment, and, I think, an unwavering commitment to shaping a digital future that truly serves humanity with all its complexities.